Okay guys, so I made a post saying that if you guys have any questions, fitness, personal health, post them and I will make sure to answer them. So we're gonna answer them today. Oh my god, my forehead is not even fitting in this screen. So we're gonna read the questions because you guys had some long ones and I'm not gonna remember that. So question number 1 is, how do I build my lower back core? I have a severe sciatic nerve that went out on me. That caused me to have extreme pain that I am recovering from. I'm trying to avoid ever having that pain again. The pain was so intense, the doctor had to give me morphine. Do you have any videos on building the lower back? Well, first I would ask your doctor if it's okay to work out. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. I know to build the lower back for a lot of my clients who had core issues or like lower back issues, we would do 3 exercises are my favorite. And I'll make sure to link a link down below. But I like good mornings, deadlifts, and hyperextensions. So if you have a bad lower back already, I would probably just start with like no weight and just going through the motions until your form is right. Because if your form is off on, especially the deadlifts and the good mornings, actually all of them, if your form's off on anything, you're just gonna mess yourself up. But I would start with like little to no weight and make sure your form is perfect. And then eventually, once you build up the strength, you can add like 5 to 10 pounds. For hyperextensions, I like to have a 25-pound plate on my chest and to do a few reps that way. But yeah, good mornings, deadlifts, and hyperextensions are all really good exercises to target that lower back. Just make sure to ask your doctor because you do have an issue with your lower back, and to start out slow with little to no weight when you try these exercises. And like I said, I'll make sure to link it down below. Question number 2, how do you balance cardio and strength training to both lose weight and gain muscle? Is there any one you should do more than the other? For me, I personally like to do 20 to 30 minutes of intense cardio. So that's usually around HIIT, the high intensity interval training for me. And then for weights, it's usually about 30 to 45 minutes, and I split my body parts up in a few different sections. Personally, I think it's about your diet when it comes to losing weight. I have a few clients who have surgery and they just can't exercise. They aren't supposed to be exercising. They need to take a little bit of break, and so I tell them, you know, you need to fix your diet. I'll work out a diet plan for them, and they lose weight without even, you know, lifting weights or without even doing cardio. So I mean, it's, for me, I think it's 80% diet rather than how much cardio you're doing or how much weights you're doing. So if I had to put a number on it, I would say 30 minutes of high intensity cardio and then about 30 to 45 minutes of weights. But don't forget, if you're eating a freaking whole cheesecake every single night, you're not going to lose weight. So you have to keep in mind, diet is a huge part of weight loss and body fat and all those great fun stuff. The next question is what advice would you give someone who's new to fitness and exercise? My top thing when I see with newbies, my top advice that I give to newbies is to take it slow. I see a lot of people with that all or nothing attitude, and they cut out all the fat and they cut out all the carbs and they cut out all the junk food, they cut out all the alcohol, and within like a month they've lost weight, but then they crash, they quit, and they put all that stuff back into their body and they gain even more weight, which is horrible, but you guys see it probably all the time. It's very common. So my advice is just take it slow. When I first started, I was working in a nutritional shop, and every single day after work, I would drive to Chipotle and get a huge burrito, stop into Stater Brothers, and get some kind of candy bar. So I told myself, out of the 7 days that I do that, I'm going to, 1 day out of the week, I'm going to drive home and make my own meal. So after 2 weeks, I bumped it up to 2 days I wouldn't go to Chipotle and then Stater Brothers and get my candy bar. And eventually, I wasn't going to Chipotle at all and I was making all my meals, and now I barely go out to restaurants unless it's like a special occasion or if I just want to. But I really adapted to just making my own meals now, my own healthy meals. And I found that I really like cooking and I really like being creative in the kitchen, and I don't miss a lot of the unhealthy food that I found in restaurants anyway. Question number 4 is how much cardio do you do a week? So I do 3 high intensity 30-minute cardio workouts, and then the other 3 days I do an hour of cardio, of low intensity cardio, and that's usually consisting of me sitting on a spin bike or walking uphill for an hour. It's not that bad. But I like to mix it up. So one day I'll do the high intensity, the next day is the low intensity. So I'm not doing high intensity every single day, so my body's not getting used to that. Question number 5 is, do you think it's best to count calories, count macros, or reduce carbs to reduce your body fat? And my answer to that is it kind of depends on your body. For me, if I just watch my calorie intake and I'm eating I'm a clean eater. So if I'm eating clean, like nice, natural whole foods, I get fairly lean. I notice if I reduce my carbs, I can't take it. I'm drowsy, I'm moody, my workouts will suffer from it. I just can't do it, and I seem to not eat like I need. I like my carbs with my protein, or I just won't eat it. Depend on your body type or the kind of person you are. So I would say you should experiment with what you think is the best for you and that you can live with for the rest of your life. Because for me, I do like low levels of body fat, but I do like to be healthy all year round. I don't like to reduce my carbs to the point that I'm extremely lean, but then once I eat carbs again, I blow up. So it kind of just depends on what you want, I guess, and what kind of body type you are. So I say experiment. It's not gonna hurt to experiment as long as you're healthy. Don't do anything crazy. Possible to get a six-pack in 3 months, and the answer to that is, once again, it depends on the person. So if you are 80 pounds overweight in 3 months, I don't know if you can lose 80 pounds. So kind of depends on the person, like I said. If you're like 5 to 10 pounds overweight in 3 months, I would say, depending on how dedicated you are and if you're not drinking and if you're actually sticking to the plan, it's completely possible. So yeah, with the 3 months thing, you can't really put a time limit on it because everybody's different. I can get pretty good looking abs within a month if I am pretty strict when it comes to eating, as in like I'll eat mostly all my cooked food and I won't be going out as much, and I will stop eating cookies at night. But yeah, it just depends on the person, you guys. It depends on how much body fat you have, how much weight you have, your genetics. I mean, everything comes into play when it comes to that. But depending on where you are, yes, it is possible to get a six-pack in 3 months. And number 6 is, where do you think your love of health, exercise, and drive to be an awesome person comes from? Well, I've always been an awesome person. I was also born a natural eater. I loved food. I liked sitting in front of the TV and just eating. And from a very young age, around middle school, I noticed that there were definitely different kinds of body types. There wasn't just one. So I found that there were super, super skinny people who could eat a lot and not put on any body fat. I found that there were people who loved to eat a lot but could put on body fat really easily. And there were people who were like thicker looking, and curvier, but still very athletic looking. And I felt like I was more in the thicker, athletic mold. And I didn't mind that at all. I always found that I liked that more athletic build, that strong build. And I always found that I liked like that superhero look. Like I remember looking at my brother's comics and I would see like Wonder Woman or whoever she is, and I would notice the calves and the small waist and the shoulders, and I always thought that it was really beautiful. I also really liked the super tall, thin runway model type, but I knew I would never fit in that mold. It's physically impossible for me. I'm 5'2", 130 pounds, and I build muscle extremely easily. Stop making skinny happen, Michelle. It's not gonna happen. And if you don't know what movie I just referenced, we just can't be friends. So I always just kind of gravitated toward the Amazonian women, like that Xenon warrior, I think her name is. Like I wanted that outfit. I wanted to stand on the rock with the staff and like just bask in my muscular glory. And as I got older and discovered all these real life Amazonian women that are in the fitness industry, and I saw their before and after pictures and realized that you don't just pop out the womb muscular, you actually have to work for it, I noticed that I could morph my body into one of these Amazonian women. And that is where my passion and love comes from when it comes to fitness, because not everyone's going to be born 6 foot and over and rail thin and able to rock a runway. With fitness, anybody can do it. If you're dedicated enough, you can morph your body into the best body that you can be, the most strongest body that you can be if you're dedicated enough. And that's why I really love fitness. Anyone can do it if you're dedicated. We don't discriminate here. So if you want to be in the fitness industry, or if you want to look a certain way, it's possible. Like I can't grow my bones to be 6 foot, but if I want to be leaner, if I want to make my shoulders look a certain way, or to be buffer or something, It's completely possible as long as I put my mind to it and I dedicate myself. And that's it, you guys, with all the questions. If you have more questions, make sure to leave a comment or inbox me on Facebook. Thumbs up if you thought this video was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys next video.